welcome to the Backyard Machine Shop. Well, in this video we're going to cover a few things. One, I've done some work on the Pratt and Whitney this week, and I want to update on show what you've done. And nothing's been a really project to cover by itself, so I'm just going to kind of give you a general idea of what's happened this week. Second thing is I've got a lot of questions about the Pratt and Whitney lathe, and from comments and emails and messages, and I was going to go over a few things and answer some of the questions here on video. Next thing we're going to do, I've fitted up some of the stuff now. It's not all ready to install. It needs to be polished out and cleaned up. Excuse me. But I want to show you some of the advancements in this lathe. This lathe has that what I feel is a step forward in engineering, and I've never seen things on a lathe this early that this lathe has, and I keep discovering more and more. So we'll go over a few of those. Okay. So stay tuned, and we'll go from there. One of the things I wanted to share with you on this lathe, and I kind of got questions, and maybe somebody can answer, is if you look at the ways, they're stained. Now, if you ask me, that's what it looks like. It's that they were stained. However, when I pulled the headstock off, they had the same pattern under the headstock, and I don't see the headstock being stained like the outside of the ways were. And then I got to looking at doing some research, and I have a print of this lathe when it was new, and if you look really hard at the ways, you can see it in the ways back then. So maybe this is some kind of form of heat treat or scraping or fitting, or I don't know, but so maybe somebody's got some answers to that. Now I'll throw in some pictures of it and let you look at it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you, now disregard the pulley here. I have it, like I said, I need to finish polishing up some of this stuff, but I've had it fitted in here, and the feed rod will come right out, and this pulley basically comes off, and so does this collar. But this is a safety mechanism, and to keep you from crashing your lathe. You can set your collar up to your stop, okay, and this is your shift for your engagement of your gearbox. Now you have two of these. You have a shifter that shifts. This collar will stop it, and then down here below, let me refocus the camera, you have a mechanism of shifting the tranny in and out here too. So like I said, on a lathe of this age, I've never remember seeing, and maybe they had them, but most of the lathes I've seen of this era, the safety devices like this clutch, or this carry, or I guess it's a feed stop, you don't see them. You see them starting to come in the late 20s, but like I said, I believe this lathe is ahead of its time. Another feature of this lathe is the headstock. Now, this headstock, it's a little different than what you see on most headstocks. I had someone ask me if this was an L taper. Well, it's not an L taper. It's about 12 degrees taper, and I think an L is around 16 or 17 degrees taper. But this may have been the beginning of the L taper, who knows. But what it is a 3 3/8 3-thread, and it has its register in front of the threads. Now most threaded tailstock or spindles have a register behind the thread, so you thread on and you mount your register, whereas this one, the taper locks in front of the threads. I've never seen that before either, just thought it was pretty neat. Okay, another question I had was that I have video or painting. Paint looks good from a distance, but basically how I did this, and it's really, I'm a gifted artist or anything, and this shows that I'm not, but I just masked off the areas, spray painted it color I wanted, removed some of the masking, spray painted the other areas, and then it's taken and then buffed out the higher letters. and it comes out that way. It just takes a little while to do, but that's pretty much how I restore badges. Okay, another question that I've received a couple of is, what are these for? Well, honestly, I don't know. My guess is they're a riser from the casting, and they just didn't cut them off. Someone has placed a piece of mahogany over this one, and it is on there. I cannot get it off without breaking something, I don't think. So I just left it on there and painted over it. If you hold on, I'll show you the other side. If you look at that one, like I said, I believe it's a riser from the casting, and they just cut it off at a point. You know, in 1916, when this was manufactured, maybe they didn't care how, you know, about that detail. Then again, it may be for some other purpose. I don't know. So if somebody can tell me, hey, leave a comment. Okay, another thing I get comments on is wear. I mean, I've always talked about how little wear there is in this lathe. And here's one of the signs that'll show you. Right, here's the spindle. Now look, originally it had some machining grooves in it coming from this factory. Now, you know how things wear, they'll wear smooth. These have yet to wear smooth. They're smooth in a couple of areas, but most of it still shows the original machining grooves. So again, everything I see on this lathe shows me there's not a whole lot of wear. Alright guys, so the biggest question I receive about this lathe is comments about the slotted cap screws. Now I did some research, and the hex head, or the Allen head if you want to call it, Mr. Allen patented it in like 1910. And apparently there was plenty of patent applications way before that, but Mr. Allen started the Allen head company in 1910. The Phillips screwdriver, or the Phillips screw head company, did not start till like 1935. So at the time this lathe was made, Allen head screws were available, but you probably had to pay royalties on them to use them. Not sure about the slotted heads. Now, they had hex heads. Well, look at this lathe and look at how the lines are and how the lines flow, and it just shows you that people cared about what their product looked like. They didn't want these bulky cap or hex head bolts everywhere, so they made them, counterbore them, took the time to counterbore them, recess them, and you develop a really nice looking product. I believe if Allen heads had been around longer, that you would have had socket head cap screws instead of slotted head cap screws. Alright guys, that's about it for this little update. I just wanted to show you how we were moving along. Like I said, we've got the lead screw in, we've got all the rods in place. They're not permanently put in yet, but they're there. I've been fitting up things, you know. There's a lot of parts to this thing, and try to figure out how they all fit. And I like to leave a witness mark, so I usually don't, things like this I don't polish up until I get ready to install it, because you can look at the wear or the where something had foot up against it or something like that to kind of figure out exactly where it goes. So that's why you see a couple of things on here that hadn't been cleaned up and polished out yet. As far as the lathe goes, what we have left, we have to put the back gear in. We have to put in the gibs for the cross feed and the taper attachment. We have to put in the compound and the tool post. And you know, and we're just about there, guys. I need to clean up the chuck, put on here, and I have a set of collets for it. So I need to fit the collet drawbar or fix it. It needs some work done to it. Like I said, I'm just trying to give you an update on what's going on. Please ask questions and I'll try to answer them. And I'm trying to post some stuff and maybe I can get some answers too. I'm still puzzled about these ways and what they look like. Honestly, again, I thought they looked like stains, but when I pulled the headstock off, they're all the way through. And I did the research, the picture, and I'm gonna post the picture, and hopefully you can see it on the video. but the picture shows it too. So some of you guys out there that's up on these old machines and all, and the machining of them, maybe send out a response and let us know what you think that is. I don't think it stains, but it may be. So, well, like I said, I'm gonna pack up. I'm fixing to start packing up to head down to Keith's this week, and I got a few things I need to put in the truck, clean up the shop, and get some rest before I go down there. So, I guess that'll be it. So from the Backyard Machine Shop, so long.